Your time is limited, and so
Crime games and depression games are even more yummy than mouth-watering beefsteaks. This is brought to you by me, FORGEE, the Japanese game junkie.
the game I'm introducing today is ATRI My Dear Moments. It's so popular that it's even getting an anime adaptation in 2024. It's known for being incredibly cheerful, and the heroine is too adorable. But what exactly makes this one so unique? Overview. Developer Front Wing and Macula. Publisher ANIPLEX.EXE. Release date June 19, 2020. Genre visual novel. Price 2,000 yen. Yes, it's a dreamlike collaboration. You know, Front Wing and Macula. They are both Japanese companies that are famous for producing great works. In addition, ANIPLEX.EXE is also involved, so we can tell that this work was made with the premise of being animated from the beginning. Since it's a low-price short novel, there are few branches in the story, and there are only two possible endings, true or bad. It means even if you are busy and don't have much time, you can easily complete this game. Of course, the true end is better. All foreshadowing is brilliantly recovered, and the story ends perfectly. However, please don't be afraid to watch the bad ending at least once. This is because by seeing the bad ending, the excitement of the true ending that you will see later will increase many times more. Story. In a world where much of the Earth's surface has sunk with the sea due to an unexplained rise in sea level, the protagonist Natsuki Ikaruga lost one leg and his mother in a childhood accident, gave up city life, and moved to a country town by the sea. In order to regain his lost future, Natsuki sets out for a warehouse on the ocean floor. There, they meet ATRI, a mysterious girl who sleeps inside a coffin-like device. ATRI is a high-performance robot who wants to carry out the master's final orders and offers to be Natsuki's leg. In a peaceful seaside town, a mysterious summer adventure begins between a boy and a robot girl. While it's a post-apocalyptic setting, because of the rising sea levels, the atmosphere is not overwhelmingly gloomy, as there are bright and cheerful interactions between the characters. However, as you progress through the story, you'll find yourself repeatedly plunged into the depths of despair, so be sure to have some tissues handy. Also, for those who may be concerned, I want to assure you that this game is not what you typically call a depression game. While it can make you cry, it doesn't leave you with a bad feeling after reading. Got it? I'll say it again, the after feeling is amazingly refreshing. So, even if you are not a fan of bad endings, you can play this game without worries. Character. Natsuki Ikaruga, the protagonist of the game, a high school boy who lost his leg and mother in an accident during his childhood. He moves to a remote seaside town where his grandmother lived. However, after her death, he is left with only her submarine and debt. In an attempt to pay off the debt by searching the seabed, he discovers ATRI, a humanoid sleeping in the coffin. He was a highly capable individual and attended a school known as the Academy, where geniuses work hard on research to save the world. Before coming to this rural town, however, due to issues with tuition, discrimination he faced because of his lack of a leg, and his own personality problems, he had no choice but to leave the academy and came to this town, almost as if he were running away. Consequently, at the beginning of the story, he found himself in a state resembling a lack of trust in humans and struggled to interact well with others. It was the people around him and the heroine ATRI who gradually helped him open up and heal his broken heart. ATRI, the heroine of the game, an artificially created humanoid. However, her emotional richness and lifelike appearance make her almost indistinguishable from a human at first glance. She has moments where she teases humans and even uses foul language, raising doubts about whether she truly adheres to the three laws of robotics. However, when called toaster, she gets angry, indicating a sense of pride in being a robot. Due to memory loss, some of her memories are missing at the beginning of the story.
渡れないんですね。早速私の出番です。
Alright, you might think she is cute yet cunning. What's her sweetly flirtatious way of speaking? Yes, I know how you are feeling. What can I say? I felt exactly the same way when I first heard her voice myself. However, it's a terrible trap. The more you feel that way, the deeper you will fall in love with her later. Now, let's leave it without going too deep. Get back on track. After recognizing Natsuki as her new master, ATRI tells Natsuki,
お願いがあるんですが、私を売るのは少し待っていただけませんか？ 45日です。その後はどうなっても構いません。
Why 45 days? Who is she? With so much unknown, their life together, the short summer story, begins. In addition, there are other fascinating side characters in the game, and yet this game is primarily a story about Natsuki and ATRI, so I'll have to skip those details. Let's dive deeper into the charms of the game. What are the elements that make this game so special? Deep dive. Meticulous performance. The game featured stunning CGs. The cute characters are meticulously designed down to the smallest details. The contrast between the characters and the watercolor-like soft backgrounds complement each other beautifully. The game excels in realistic water depictions, and the sounds of the submarine diving or the soothing sound of waves are rendered realistically, immersing the player in the story. The BGM mainly consists of poignant piano melodies that maintain the atmosphere without breaking it. However, during cheerful scenes, there is catchy, cheerful music that multiplies ATRI's bright smile even further. Nobody beats ATRI. The game's protagonist is facing a challenging situation. He was once an elite student at an academy, but he was expelled. He even sold his expensive prosthetic leg to make ends meet. However, life on campus with only one leg exacerbated discrimination and even phantom pain, which should have dormant, recurred, causing sleepless nights. Furthermore, his mother, The one he could rely on had already passed away. He came back to a remote seaside town to escape. What's left for him is a debt inherited from his grandmother and her research findings buried under the sea. On the day, he met ATRI when she asked him,
夏希さんは足を取り戻したら何がしたかったんですか?
Natsuki couldn't immediately respond. If only he could regain his leg, could he truly recover the lost future? He questioned himself. Of course, that's not the case. He's only blaming his unsuccessful life on his lost leg. That night, plagued by phantom pain, Natsuki instinctively reached out to the ceiling, asking for help. Then, something unusual happened. Although there had never been anyone to take his outstretched arm and save him, on this night, it was different. ATRI took Natsuki's arm and gently embraced him. This was a scene where ATRI's charm, which is not just about being cheerful and cute, first shined through, and many players were drawn into her world from this scene. She is full of maternal love. This is why you will see many phrases like ATRI man in the community of this game. As you progress through the story, her charm will captivate you and never let go. She's always cheerful, actively interacts with others, and is accepted by everyone in the town, despite the limited time she spent with Natsuki. She wants to go to school and study, making the most of her remaining time. She acts as Natsuki's leg, always by his side, and takes on even more responsibilities when Natsuki suffers from phantom pain at night. Behind all of this, she carries a sad destiny and is enveloped in deep sorrow that nobody else knows. I'll put it with confidence. Viewers, you will fall in love with ATRI 3 times. Huh? Why 3 times? You'll understand once you play the main story. Clear theme. The game's theme is how to live with limited time. This theme is incredibly clear and runs through the entire scenario. Like Natsuki, the protagonist, is covered in scars, but his knowledge gained from the academy brings light to the town, which was becoming increasingly closed off. Natsuki doesn't think he can do anything, but the tiny light he lit certainly helps the town. The story takes place within a very short time frame. However, in the brief moments that Natsuki, ATRI, and other characters have in their long lives, Natsuki is greatly moved by her presence, which leads to significant changes. It's precisely this strong impact that will change the lives of everyone around ATRI in the coming decades or even centuries that is encapsulated in this short summer. The scenario is outstanding. Whether you view this game as Natsuki's coming-of-age story, ATRI's growth story, or a love story between the two, the scenario is unmatched. At the beginning of the story, the stubborn Natsuki gradually transforms into a mature man with a vision for the future, thanks to the encounter with ATRI. Meanwhile, at the start of the story, ATRI, who has lost her memory and doesn't remember her true self, begins to face her own heart's true nature as she touches Natsuki's never-give-up spirit. The first half of the game describes a sweet and sour adolescence in which the two gradually grow closer. And yet, The scenario of this game is anything but flat. When a certain truth about ATRI is disclosed in the middle of the story, not only Natsuki, but also we players have to get a huge shock. As if the treasure we hold so dearly was suddenly revealed to be a fake. From here, the story takes a sharp turn. Natsuki and ATRI are repeatedly plunged into despair, sometimes hurting each other, and then saving each other. The scope of this story is astonishing, expanding to a global and even cosmic scale. However, in the end, this work, ATRI My Dear Moments, comes down to a story about just these two lovers. No matter what I say, to meet ATRI was exactly what led me to start this YouTube channel. I bet the experience of playing this ATRI My Dear Moments would be one of your dearest moments. Actually, there's a lot more I want to talk about, and yet saying that would be a spoiler, so I won't say it here. However, if you want to enjoy the world of ATRI My Dear Moments more deeply, please watch my next video, in which I have included many secrets of the world of ATRI that are difficult for non-Japanese to notice. Just promise me one thing. Be sure to play this game yourself before watching the next video. I don't want to spoil what could be one of your dearest moments.